Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and hi. So thank you for your interest and your time. So the 5-minute talk I'm about to give, just to give you some background so you understand, was inspired by my conversations and interviews for my podcast, AI Fluent, which I'm launching this week. I'm Ilona Vinogradova, founder of LovinFilms Pro Media Lab and ex-BBC digital growth editor. The podcast idea emerged after 3 years of consulting and being embedded in newsrooms worldwide. However, it was journalists from the global south who truly inspired me to start recording these conversations. When I observe how journalists from smaller newsrooms, let's say in Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Colombia, Kenya, and many other countries find solutions and innovate on the go despite limited resources, I can't help but admire them. In my podcast, I always ask a question: what are the important issues about using AI in the context of storytelling we are not thinking about, we don't pay enough attention to, but we should? So now I'll share with you five of those questions that have been repeated most frequently. 5 lessons learned for me, which made me rethink, and I hope they'll give you some food for thought as well. So question number 1, who owns your data? In a way, we all worry about that, right? But once you're a journalist in an African or Middle Eastern country, you worry about it on a completely different level, partly because you don't feel protected by the law. Data and investigative journalists upload huge amounts of sensitive information on different AI-powered tools. And these tools help us, of course, to speed up our investigations, to find patterns, etc. Do we know, though, what happens to all that information, even if we deleted it? Tomorrow, I'll publish the first episode of my podcast where I talk to Chris Roper and Amanda Stradom from Code for Africa. They do a lot of investigative and data-driven journalism, and they are the first to admit that they don't know what happens to the information, where it actually ultimately stored and how it might be used. What is the solution? Like in any complex issue, there is no one good solution. One of the solutions is to have transparency and regulations for this. Another solution offered by many journalists I talk to is to collaborate. Do collaborate with each other to put more pressure on tech companies to be more transparent about this. Question number 2, what is the environmental, sorry, I'm in Indonesia, so I have lots of strange insects around me. So question number 2, what is the environmental effect of AI and how do we tell this story to tell this story to our audience? You might have a different experience, but in my 3 years of consulting various newsrooms, I never heard this question in Europe or in the US. I only hear this question from the journalists in the global south. And no wonder, because they know what the shortage of water and electricity is about. When I lived in Tanzania and Uganda for a couple of months, at least once a week, there would be a power cut. However, those of you who cover climate change know that AI-powered tools can be very helpful in mitigating environmental issues by optimizing energy usage, monitoring ecosystems, predicting environmental events. As a media organization, though, what can you do about it? Several things. You can tell this story in all its complexity, so your audience is more aware of both positive and negative effects. You also can consider the environmental impact of AI applications you use in your newsroom before deployment. Question number 3. What is the better use of an AI tool in your newsroom? To produce more content in less time, or to use it to understand your audience beyond gender, age, etc.? Again, in my experience, when newsrooms invite me to consult them on AI-related issues, questions, one of the first questions they ask is how to optimize our time, how to produce more in less time. And I always ask, why do you want to produce more? And the problem is that we want to create more content, but nobody wakes up in the morning wanting more content. We want to get stuff done, right? We want to get from A to B with no traffic. We want to learn new things. We want to know how to prepare a healthy breakfast, etc. And your analytics dashboards and audience needs wheels don't really help you understand the specific pain points of your audience, the real people behind those screens, and what they want to achieve. AI tools can help us to dive deeper into those pain points and understand different segments of our audience beyond gender. So maybe that might be a better use than producing more content. Question number 4, do you know how your content makes people feel? If you don't, AI can help you with that as well. So another question often asked here, why do we as journalists need to understand that? We provide information, that's our role, and the rest is beyond our control. Well, we are not only content creators, we are also content consumers, so we understand perfectly well that if a certain type of content makes you feel bad, we don't want to pay attention to or pay money for that kind of content. I'm leaving you here with this quote from Mariano Bleichmann. Many of you know him. He is the founder of a media festival in Argentina. So real change in understanding that, not just in content production. And the last, I probably speak slower than I'm. So the question number 5, which I wanted to share with you, is again, why? Why do we use AI in a newsroom? In my experience, this is the most obvious yet the most overlooked question in many newsrooms. And I'm leaving you with a quote from another guest on my podcast, Claudia Baez, co-founder of the Colombian investigative website, Gestión Pública. Don't forget to ask why. And please do come and get in touch. I'd be grateful if you can come with your feedback, questions, share the pain points of your newsroom, and definitely get in touch if you want to collaborate on some crazy or less crazy projects. Thank you so much again for your time.